Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and as you guys probably already know, the NFL's top 100 list has come out, and I will be honest, this list is not the greatest of lists. There are some hits and some misses, but I really want to talk about some of the things that I believe is not right or wrong with this list, and I don't want to make this intro any longer. Without further ado, let's dive into it.
Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally used before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout to help you get the boost in your workout. All the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level. And I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey. And you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video.
And I want to start this off by addressing probably the elephant in the room, and that is Tyreek Hill being number one on this list. Now, personally, this is not a shame on Tyreek Hill. This is not a disrespect to Tyreek Hill, but I will be 100% honest. Throughout most league circles, or throughout content that I've watched, and throughout just players saying things, one, I have yet to hear that Tyreek Hill is the best wide receiver in football. Like a unanimous decision that he's the best wide receiver in football. Now, he's very productive. He has speed out of this world, but there has not been a consensus that he's the number one receiver in football. You can argue Devontae Adams. You've argued Jamar Chase. You've argued Justin Jefferson as the number one wide receiver in football, but I haven't seen a big consensus that Tyreek Hill is the number one receiver, let alone I've never seen a thing that said Tyreek Hill is the best player in the NFL. Now, if we are going to be honest with ourselves, and I'm going to be honest with you guys, my top three will be McCaffrey, Mahomes, Lamar. And you can kind of interchange those three based off years they had. You can interchange those three based off style of play and the way that they've been productive. Those would have been my top three. And if either one of those three were number one in the NFL rankings, I would have had not a single argument against it. But the fact that Tyreek Hill was voted the best player in the NFL, I disagree with that wholeheartedly. Like I said before, there has been no inkling, there has been no discussion around Tyreek Hill being the best player in the NFL. Usually, we've seen things with Mahomes, Lamar, and even as of late, CMC as number one player. Not Tyreek Hill. Two things that I have a problem with on this list, and you possibly could say a little bit biased, but the fact that DJ Moore and the fact that Jaylon Johnson are not on this list is blasphemy. Jaylon Johnson, over the last 2 seasons in particular, has proved himself to be one of the top corners in football. And last year, he was voted to the Pro Bowl, but yet is not even on this list. He got himself into a top 4 corner in the NFL, but he is not on this list. You got guys like Jalen Ramsey, who we can argue that he had a better season then, and we have Jaylon as the best corner in the game. I don't see it. Now, we have guys, Patrick Surtain, I have no argument with Patrick Surtain over Jaylon Johnson. And I personally think PS2 is the best corner in the NFL. Sauce Gardner is another one. I have no argument for Sauce Gardner. Sauce Gardner, you can possibly argue, best corner in football. And it's a little bit crazy that Denzel Ward isn't on this list, even though he had spent a decent amount of last year injured. Tariq Woolen, I will be honest, he's on this list, and I will pick Jaylon Johnson over Tariq Woolen. And that's just not me being biased, it's just watching both guys in corner coverage. I would take Jaylon Johnson as a cover corner and a shutdown type of a corner over Tariq Woolen, who is no slouch, but I would personally take Jaylon Johnson over him. And the fact that Aaron Rodgers is on this list and he played 4 snaps last year. I know Aaron Rodgers is one of the better quarterbacks in football when healthy. His last 2 years has been kind of so-so. Last year he didn't play, but like I said, 4 snaps. And he's on this list over guys like DJ Moore, over guys like Jaylon Johnson. That's another thing with this list. It's just, and I can break down some other things with this list. And one, I don't think Travis Kelce is top 10 at this point right now. Honestly, I personally like Travis Kelce's game. Top 10, I don't see it. He's one of the top. He's definitely still, in my opinion, top 2 tight end in football, if not number 1. I could argue George Kittle right there with him. Chris Jones at number 6. Honestly, I don't see that either. I will put a guy like Myles Garrett is ahead of him. I'll work with that. I will put TJ Watt ahead of him. That works. I will put Trent Williams as one of the more dominant left tackles in football over Chris Jones. They have Trent Williams sitting at number 7. I would personally have him over Chris Jones. And the things that Max Crosby has done, top 10, don't argue. I cannot argue with that one at all. Chris Jones at number 6, though, no. Patrick Mahomes at 4, I'm sorry. Patrick Mahomes at 4, even the season that he had dealing with the receivers that he had, and to have Tyreek 1, and Myles Garrett, the best defensive player on this list, can't argue that. I would put TJ Watt top 10 over Chris Jones. Like I said, Trent Williams, and possibly Max Crosby. You could argue Fred Warner if you really wanted to argue Fred Warner, who I think is one of the better off-ball linebackers in football. Roquan Smith. Chris Jones, I just don't think had a good enough of a 2023, in my opinion, to warrant himself top 10 on this list. I just don't. Travis Kelce, you can kind of argue he didn't have the greatest of years, even though he was like maybe a couple yards away from being a 1,000-yard tight end yet again. But I just think that he didn't have a top 10 player in the NFL type of season. I really don't. You can even argue Justin Jefferson to be closest to the top 10, but we all know he dealt with injuries last year. It's just the fact that I think the biggest gripe I have is Tyreek number 1. The biggest gripes is Chris Jones at number 6, and I don't see that. Aaron Rodgers even being on this list above Jaylon Johnson and above DJ Moore is another gripe that I have with this list. Jalen Ramsey is the best corner in the game. No. I will put Patrick Surtain as the best corner in the game. Point blank, period. And Deebo Samuel at 30, don't see that either. And Deron Bland, you can argue, I would put Jaylon Johnson over Deron Bland. It's just so many things with this list that I don't see right. Tua Tagovailoa top 50, can argue against it if you wanted to. I mean, it's voted by players, so they have a little bit more of an inkling of what goes on than we do. It's just, I wouldn't have this list as it is. The thing that Tyreek Hill is number 1 in football is blasphemy. Top 5, you can argue that. Top 10, definitely. Number 1, no. But either way it goes, this list is the list, and I'll leave the link to the list below so you guys can check it out for yourselves, but not a fan of it, but it is what it is. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.